All right, awesome. Thank you everyone for being here today. And welcome to this information session about the inaugural IC3-Cornell Blockchain Accelerator. Owana and I are very excited to share with you this very new opportunity for entrepreneurs and startups in the crypto space. This initiative is actually a joint effort between the IC3 Research Consortium, which many of you are familiar with, Cornell Blockchain Club, which is a club on Cornell's campus that promotes crypto, as well as many of the top institutions in the blockchain technology space. I've had the privilege of leading the Cornell Blockchain Accelerator for the past 3 years, and I'm joined with Owana, who's the current program manager for this accelerator. Owana will be handling any questions you guys will have at the end of this end of the session. Yeah, so as we move into the slide, I want to highlight the very unique value proposition of this accelerator. So IC3 and Cornell, they've been at the forefront of blockchain research for a very long time. And our accelerator is not just about providing mentorship and helping you go through business development. It's also about advancing real-world applications of groundbreaking academic research. So IC3 researchers have been really involved with the space for a while, and they were very instrumental in identifying many of the vulnerabilities in the infamous DAO hack. So before it was hacked, they were able to identify that. They were also pioneers in studying and coining the term, MEV, which has had a very big impact on the blockchain ecosystem. And additionally, IC3 has also contributed to the concept and term proof of work, which has also shaped the blockchain space we know today. A lot of very influential companies come from IC3 and Cornell's work. So Chainlink Labs is an example, Ava Labs, Offchain, and Flashbots. These are just a few companies that have emerged from IC3 Cornell's work. And so by joining this accelerator, you're able to tap into that same legacy of innovation and research. And so this specific partnership between IC3 and Cornell is designed to provide resources and support early stage blockchain projects. So particularly those that are still in the pre-product market fit stage. Okay, so let's get into the details of the program. This accelerator is a free and non-dilutive 14-week program that will begin February 3rd and end May 11th. One of the key features of this is that we're going to have a in-person demo day, which will take place during the Cornell Blockchain Conference in April of 2025. So this will be an exciting opportunity for you to showcase your project to a large audience that will include investors, entrepreneurs, and industry professionals. Throughout the program, you'll also have biweekly content sessions with industry professionals. So these will cover crucial topics for startup growth, like establishing product market fit, go-to-market strategies, and fundraising. There will also be biweekly one-on-one meetings with the IC3 and CBA leads. So this is a team composed of ex-founders and veteran investors, and it's going to be a very core part of your experience. The way to kind of think about us is that we're kind of like your extended team. We're going to provide you personalized support and guidance to help you navigate the challenges you'll face, as well as help you accelerate your growth. You will also have intros to mentors and subject matter experts within the Cornell and IC3 ecosystem. So this will include founders, senior execs, veterans from top companies like Ava Labs, PayPal Digital, Coinbase, and et cetera, et cetera. For projects that meet very specific criteria we are also offering $10,000 in non-dilutive seed funding, and this will be awarded for up to 2 projects. And on the topic of fundraising, we also provide support for that. So that includes pitch prep, introduction to leading funds, and exposure to top investors in the space like Pantera, Dragonfly, and A16Z. And one other benefit we have is that we also are going to offer recruitment assistance to help startups hire key team members during and after the accelerator. So if you're looking to either build out your team or scale your talent pool, we're going to be able to connect you with people within the blockchain industry. And then lastly, big thank you to Stanford. They've been really helping us launch this initiative. And so a lot of the support that's mentioned here is going to be also coming from them. So I'm going to go into the mentors. I'm just going to see if one of our mentors is here right now. All right. Not at the moment. So let's talk about mentors. So one of the key advantages of our accelerator is access to leading mentors in the blockchain space. So they're leaders in the blockchain, the VC space, et cetera, et cetera. And they're going to give you guidance and support throughout the accelerator. This is really an opportunity for you to network and learn from some of the brightest minds in the industry. As you can see on the slides, we have the president of Ava Labs, we have VCs here, and we have former founders as well. Okay, and before we kind of wrap up, I just want to quickly go over the application process. So applications are due January 15th, and then we will begin scheduling those interviews for the week of the 20th. Then final decisions will be announced by the 27th, and then the program will actually kick off on the 3rd. So if you're interested in applying, make sure that you get in your application by the deadline and make sure to be prepared for interviews by then. This QR code should lead you to a link to apply for the application. I'm going to leave it up for 20 seconds, and then I'm going to let Owana take it away for Q&A.
Okay, so one of the questions is what makes someone stand out as an applicant?
Got it. I think really being in depth about your answers, we take a very careful look at all the applications that come through, and a lot of the times the applications we receive, they aren't really tailored to us, or they're not like answering the questions we ask specifically. So on the form we have, I think there's around 15 questions that need to be answered. So just being really careful about understanding what we're asking for and making sure that you're able to put yourself in the best way possible for that. I think also one of the mentors just joined, Alexander Lin. Alex, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Alex. So we're gonna take a quick pause from the Q&A real quick. This is one of the mentors that we are talking about. Alex, I've had the privilege of working with him for the Cornell Blockchain Accelerator. It's one of the brightest minds in venture, so he's a really good mentor to have on board. So Alex, if you could just quickly introduce yourself, maybe explain your experience in the space, and then how you plan to contribute to the growth of the startups.
Sure. Thanks for the kind words. Hi everyone. I'm Alex. I run a firm called Reforge, early stage fund focused on um, blockchain and frontier tech. So cover crypto and a lot of kind of the primitives associated to the industry, as well as tertiary areas such as AI, privacy, um, and just general financial infrastructure, both within DeFi and TradFi. So I've been in crypto for a number of years now. Have spent most of my career building companies in Web 2, mostly as an engineer and product manager, and then also a bit as a founder, and pivoted into the investing side of my career sometime around COVID during 2020. Went to grad school at Cornell, Cornell Tech, with a focus on distributed compute and cryptography, along with a technical MBA. And with that, have kind of really focused my attention on leveraging a lot of kind of my academic experiences to create an edge on the investing side and really challenge a lot of the design primitives that exist within our industry to really kind of move the needle and promote innovation in more unique ways than what we've seen before. I think we've kind of hit that inflection point, and I think I really focus on allocating capital to founders at the earliest stages to really kind of challenge the status quo. So in terms of my involvement with the program, I look to be a resource for you guys for founders in any way that I can across fundraising, across really kind of thinking about um, going to market. A lot of my background on the technical side, can really drive product thinking, architecture design, token design, and whatnot. And if it gets to the point where there's funding available, then and obviously looking for great founders to back through my fund.
Thanks, Alex. Awesome. Let's go back into the Q&A then.
Okay, so the next question is, and the other thing, why, Yusuf, it's probably better to answer them live because we are recording, so we can upload this later And that way they will also have the answers to the questions. So the next one is, how can I best prepare for the interview process?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so a lot of the questions we'll ask will be, about where you get your ideas from, your experience operating in the space, and sort of what makes your company or your project work in a way that others don't. So I'd focus on those criteria and make sure that you're able to have a really good pulse on what's happening both in your industry, but also like with your competitors as well.
Okay. Next question. Based on what criteria do you select the projects for the next stages?
Yeah, so there's a team of around 7 or 8 of us that will review the responses. And so it's a collection of all of our impressions on what you're building and whether we think that is going to sort of be useful in the space. Um, so for example, Alex here is going to be part of that review team. Owan is going to be part of the review team. And so we'll just go through the questions that are on the applications, and then we'll go through the first round interview to understand like if it's a good fit.
Okay, next one. Is there a minimum number of people in a team?
Yeah, so you could be a solo founder and still apply, and also completely fine if you have a bigger team as well.
One thing that I just want to make sure, sorry to just to follow up on that answer, is that one of the requirements is for the person to, or at least one person on the team to be to have technical background.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. The next question is if there is anyone in the audience interested in the intersection of blockchains and music, and the person asking this is offering their email address for contact.
All right. Yeah, we can go to the next question, I guess.
Okay. This next person actually has two questions. One of them is, can you elaborate the academic piece with IC3?
Yeah, Juan, I think you're probably best equipped to answer that since you work there. So we can do that. And then I see the second part. And so we can tackle that after.
Yes. I mean, I might need, if the person doesn't mind maybe developing a bit, what exactly are you like, what do you want to know more in terms of academic piece, like IC3's involvement? I'm not exactly sure. So let's go to the next one, the next part, and I'll come back to this particular one. So advice on experiments with tokenomic and launching NFT during the accelerator.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, maybe Alex, if you want to take a stab of that.
Yes. So I think that, I mean, this is a rather broad question. I think maybe a starting point would be to understand specifically, what it is your project is, and I think looking and drawing drawing comparisons to existing token design would be helpful. So I think, if you're a DeFi project, there are certain ways that you would design your token to, better fit what utility your token offers. I think it's really hard for me to kind of say, hey, just because you have an NFT project, this is how it should be. I think from an experiments perspective, there are different ways to model out your token design. I think understanding the processes that are involved from, if you were to, launch at some X supply, then what are the things that you need to do in order to achieve a certain outcome based off of how much funding you would be getting, what you want to be doing, say with 30% of that to community. So I think maybe for step one in terms of experiments is just to understand some comparisons to the industry. If you look at Magic Eden, so NFT related, if you're building a marketplace on the NFT side, you can look at the Magic Eden pros and cons. They launched their token the other day, and arguably, from a charts perspective, may not look so great. So, maybe there are some learnings there. And so I think from an experience perspective, you just kind of go through existing use cases. But I think that token, and so just like a high level thought here, if you're thinking about tokenomics already, that's not exactly recommended, because I think that token should be tertiary to whatever product that you're building. So you can kind of think of it as an additional supplement, or I guess complement to your platform. And typically, I think the accelerator might be more involved with getting to the point of, hey, I'm ready to launch a token and thinking through that. But I guess experiments for token design may not exactly be top of mind at this point.
Thank you, Alex. Um, the The next question, the demo day is the only in person, right? Our team is distributed around the world, so wanted to make sure we are still qualified. Yusuf, if you don't mind, I'll actually answer this one. So as of right now, we are looking, yes, a demo day being an in-person event, but there could be, there's potential for our other in-person events as well. And this is not a criteria that will disqualify you, I mean, your location. We are working on some details on how that's going to be conducted. But should not disqualify you just because you're not US based. We would be very happy, obviously, for you to be in person, but if that's not going to be possible, we will work with the teams to accommodate and make sure that it's going to be a hybrid event instead of a in-person one for that particular team, or just overall the entire event. Okay.
Really quickly want to add to that.
Yes.
Yeah, we will have these sort of bi-weekly content sessions that I mentioned. And so it is important that your team is able to show up to that. So, not everyone on your team, if they're distributed across the world, needs to be there, but having people who are consistently able to attend the content we're providing is important.
Okay, next question is from Daniel and Philip from SpaceCoin XYZ. We are working at intersection of space, satellite, and programmable cryptography, and already raised some funding, but we are pre-PMF. Are we still qualified?
Yeah, so you can raise funding, that's fine. For any other project that is also in the process of raising or has raised, that's also fine. As long as you're pre-PMF, you're qualified and you're also eligible, then yeah, you're fine.
I was reading our white paper the other day, guys. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Some of your investors are my friends. So good to see you guys here.
Okay, next question. Does the project idea need to be based on academic publications?
I don't believe it does at all. Even though we're kind of leveraging this research angle, does not mean that you need to be coming from academia.
Okay, and do you require a proof of concept or prototype?
Yeah, if you're in the ideation stage, that's still fine.
Okay. Suggested milestones from the accelerator.
Okay. I'm gonna interpret this as in like within the program as opposed to before the program. And so I guess there's a few ways to think about it. So first is that we have that demo day, which will be in person. So it's going to be a big milestone. That'll be an opportunity for you guys to present at this big conference, and so that'll be kind of a big focal point. And so the halfway point to that will also the halfway point to getting there will be important because we're going to do some practice pitches with you to make sure that you're ready for that as well. And then at the very end of the program, we're gonna do a like investor kind of presentation. That's still being finalized as to what that will look like, but that would also be a big milestone in the program.
Okay, this is it in terms of questions for now. So I'm just going to go back to elaborate on the academic piece with IC3, which, like I said, I'm not exactly sure what the question is. But IC3's involvement. So what we want to do, we want to offer students and researchers the opportunity to have a launch pad, if you want, for their ideas, and maybe team up with others if it's necessary, from the others' perspectives. We are excited if we get students who also, just like Yusuf said, so research, it doesn't have to come from research, but we would like to see that as well. We would like to see students who actually want to put their ideas and research in practice. IC3 is offering, just like it was presented before, everything that we have behind us, the faculty members that are spread at various universities, the directors who are very interested in helping out students and researchers put in practice their ideas. The other thing, as you can see, there are multiple startups that ended up coming out of IC3, but we never had before an actual accelerator that could basically help them out and get them where they ended up getting, maybe not by themselves, but with help that was not necessarily from us. So we wanted to change that, and that's how we ended up being interested in this idea and working with Cornell Blockchain Club and Stanford to put it together and bring it. For now, we are focusing more on Cornell University, Cornell Tech, but we also have the IC3 campuses that are eligible to apply as well. For this, definitely check the IC3 website to make sure that you do qualify for that part of the criteria, because it's quite important and we do take it in consideration. So I'm not sure if I answered that particular question, but if anyone has further questions, feel free to reach out by email, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of them. Okay. We just got another question. So if anyone here is interested on chain carbon footprint data through gamification, we also have a contact information from the person posing the question. And the second one, how many selected companies will receive fundings from this accelerator? So if you're referring to the 10K IC3, it's offering for up to 2 teams. then like we said, there is potential, but there will be criteria, goals to be achieved in order to get that funding. So like I said, it's not a given from the beginning. As for other funding, that will we are not offering any other funding, so it will be in the fundraising part, I'm assuming. Yusuf, if you wanna, or Alex, if you wanna complete that answer.
Yeah, so as Awana mentioned, up to two startups will be awarded 10,000 if the specific criteria are met, and that's completely for free. Our goal is to help you also go through fundraising if that's something that you will need at that stage. We're going to be preparing you for those pitches with investors. And so ideally, if you are in a situation where you need to come out with this program with funding, we're going to do our best to help you get that.
Okay, so I think this is what we have for now. I'm not sure if anyone else has any other question. Just to keep in mind, this recording will be available on the IC3 YouTube channel. And if additional questions come up, like I said, feel free to reach out, and we'll answer via email. And also, not sure if Yusuf, you mentioned this, but the teams that will be selected will actually have another more detailed info session at the kickoff of the program. More specific for the teams that will be selected.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Alana. All right. I think we can call it then. Thanks everyone for coming here today, and please feel free to reach out to us if you have any further questions.